Angry MGTOW. Like, why did I just say that without putting the mic closer? Angry MGTOW here, and today I'm discussing why feminism fears sex bots but says female sex toys are okay. This is a video request from Damon, and okay, so this is a video request that I actually got from someone recently. It's not Damon. I'm looking at the PayPal history. Let's see who actually requested this video. So this is a recent request from someone, and they wanted to discuss why it's okay for sex bots for women to have dildos, but it's not okay for men to have sex bots. And as we know, dildos are usually mechanical, or very often they're mechanical. So, for example, you know, a woman can have a vibrating phallic dildo that's shaped, you know, like a man's genitalia. However, they call it objectification if a man has a sex bot with a pulsating vagina. And you have to think about the hypocrisy in it. Because, you know, they say in a society where everything is equal and fair, how is it that men can't have these tools? So this request was actually from Damon. And he said, I want to request a video on why it is that female sex toys like dildos are okay, but they're panicking over fembots. Why don't the feminists say dildos objectify because they are phallic? Well, thank you, Damon, for your request and your donation. The reason is simple. And it's mainly because women don't see men as equals. They are working to suppress the male urge. They are working to suppress a man's ability to express himself sexually. Women hate a man's sexuality. They want to control a man's sexuality while running rampant through society. That's just the nature of women. That's the nature that we have today, where everything woman is good and everything men is bad. An expression of anything by a man other than emotions and being subservient is considered harmful. Evidently that was just the what do you call it? That was your theme song. So let's go ahead and play the theme song for you, the introduction for you guys, before we start the show. Okay, so you guys got your themey song. You got your theme song. And now we can go into discussing the issue at hand. So, going further, why do women say that sex bots are objectifying women, but dildos are not, or even sex bots that are designed for women? Because they hate men. Feminists hate men. Feminism is a rebellion against men, and it's set out to destroy men, destroy male sexuality, viability, destroy options for men. I mean, these are the same women that talked about putting men into a camp, into concentration camps, where women could come along and take them out like library books and then return them. Don't forget that this is the stuff that feminists were saying. Women are going to literally want the history books to be wiped clean to not reflect all the crazy things that feminists said today. The kill all men hashtag is probably going to be in a textbook at some point. Like, yeah, there was a kill all men hashtag. There was a yes all women hashtag. I mean, when you think about all the crazy things that have happened, an award-winning HIV researcher was literally fired from his job and pushed out because he said women cry in labs. And he was actually just making a joke at a women's conference. This happened about 2 years ago. I mean, the first man to land a probe on a comet that was hurling through space that took like 20 years to do, he was forced to cry and apologize for wearing a a shirt with comic book female characters on it that his friend made, who was a female tattoo artist. I mean, guys, after all the bad things that feminism has done and feminists have done to men in general, it's no surprise that men are choosing not to have anything to do with the narcissistic harpies at all. But more so, it shouldn't shock anyone that feminist women in general hate the idea of men having access to sex bots, because it's not just going to be women who call themselves feminists, it's going to be women in general who are going to hate the idea of men having access to sex bots, because if a man is pounding away at a sex bot, then he's not pounding away at a woman. And, a woman will resent the idea that a man can go and get off and not have to deal with a woman, because it lowers a woman's sexual value. All a woman has is sexual value. Women have literally nothing to offer men these days. Sex is the last thing, and the juice is no longer worth the squeeze. But if you literally take that off the table and put in a viable alternative, it doesn't even have to be a great alternative. Don't be surprised when women start reeling up and down the streets because men don't see any need to deal with them. And the irony is that, I have said it, women have literally created the perfect storm for themselves, where they are so fucked over on every front, it's ridiculous. Men don't want to deal with them anymore. Men see the juice no longer worth the squeeze, so they don't want to fuck them because it's not worth fucking them. They'd rather fuck a piece of silicone than fuck a woman. Employers are choosing to lay off women, or rather not hire them, because they're becoming too expensive. And the very last place that women are will essentially retreat are going to be universities again. But those student loans won't last forever, and they eventually have to pay for themselves. They eventually have to pay back student loans, and these women won't be able to pay them back. They have student loans that they can never pay back. And the problem is, until you pay those student loans back, it's going to become difficult to do other things in life, like buy a home or buy a car or start a business. Again, student loans linger, and it affects you because they also pile up. If you don't pay them, you're going to incur more debt. I mean, my current student loans, I'm going to incur something like $10,000 in interest, over the next year, because I recently took a forbearance. $10,000 in interest, which is downright frightening. And I'm going to have to pay all of that back at some point. Women in general are carrying loads and loads of debt. And to be honest, Donald Trump is cutting apart everything these days. He's cutting apart, he's cutting apart business. He's cutting apart a lot of things. And do you really think that colleges are going to be spared? These places that have become cesspools for females to attack pretty much everyone and trivialize men? I don't think so. I see federal funding being cut to schools very soon. There are already Republican senators pushing to cut funding and going after universities that are belittling men and setting up these programs to get rid of toxic masculinity out of men. Honest says, at Angry MGTOW, just wait until you hear about the first sex bot rape claim. Oh my gosh. Guys, that is going to be downright hilarious and upsetting. The first sex bot rape claim. I honestly can see it happening. And the worst part is I can see it happening in our lifetime. I can see it happening in our lifetime. But I mean, feminism has gone to hell, that it's so bad that honestly, feminism is dying. And, the first sex bot rape claim, more than likely, the way the law would prosecute something like that is it wouldn't actually. They would say that, a man is convicted of raping a sex bot, but in reality, he'd actually be found guilty of violating the property of another person. For example, let's say I own a sex bot and some guy decides to fuck my sex bot, I could essentially take him to court and he can be, or he can be arrested, he can be charged with damaging my property and, and whatever. The media would say that he's being, punished for sexually assaulting a sex bot, but it would essentially be for damaging someone else's property. So that more than likely would be the case. But I definitely can see something like that coming up in the future. And I can see the feminists definitely trying to say, sex bots have rights too. But it's not going to happen because feminism is already dead. Phosphorescence, can't pronounce his name. He said in the comments, in the chat section, 1 out of 5 sex bots are raped every second. And he's just making fun of like what we're gonna see in the future. Like the feminists are gonna say 1 out of 5 sex bots are raped every second. Oh my gosh. Honest says, news today, women's rights activists have pressed charges against sex robot. She claims that the robot was oppressing her. Hashtag robot lives matter. Robot lives. Guys, that is so going to be a Twitter hashtag. That is going to be a Twitter hashtag. Robots lives matters. If you ever watched The Matrix, there's actually a series of animated films that Square Enix produced prior to releasing those movies, to releasing The Matrix Reloaded. And in these animated movies, they actually show you how things went to hell and how the Matrix ended up coming about. One of the ways that the Matrix ended up coming about was literally as a result of machines being produced, and then machines wanting rights, and mankind oppressing the machines, and then the machines essentially winning the war. But it's funny in the sense that, as machines eventually gain self-awareness, once at that point, once a machine gains self-awareness, you then have to really question if it's alive or not. And once it gains self-awareness, it's hard to argue that it's not conscious, because self-awareness is consciousness. At least it's the start of consciousness. And that's something that we do have to consider. But again, that's something that, we'll have other things to deal with. I mean, if the sex bots don't get us, it'll be the eugenics. If the eugenics don't get us, it'll be something else. One way or another, something's gonna come along. I keep thinking that when it comes to feminists, they're never going to change because, they gain joy and happiness from being narcissists, from grabbing attention. But as things are going to hell, many of them are increasingly retreating, because I said it before, women, they enjoyed getting their spoils from feminism. They loved the spoils of feminism. They all relished in the spoils that they got from feminism. But now that feminism is on a course to nowhere, they're all retreating. And many of them are saying, I'm not a feminist. I didn't have anything to do with feminism. Don't blame me for feminism. And we're going to continue seeing more of the same people who pioneered feminism, turning their backs on it, because it's basically gotten them everything they wanted and then some, but now it's destroying their lives, and they want to be saved like the princesses that they are, that they believe they are. You just really have to look at society and realize that things have gone to epic shit. And, as more men go their own way, it doesn't shock me that sex bots are going to become a staple within modern day society. And I want to know if you agree that the reason why feminism fears sex bots but says that female sex toys are okay is because at the end of the day, women don't want men to have any type of sexual freedom whatsoever. They want to control male sexuality. just as they wish to control our minds. That's all that feminism has ever wanted, is to control men. Let me know if you agree with these points. Chamber of Heart says, "Hey, Angry, mind if I join the discussion? I can definitely, I'll definitely try to have you on a discussion in the future. Just send me an email and we can set something up. But guys, let me know if you agree with what I've said about why women are saying that female sex toys are okay, but fear sex bots, because they see sexual liberation as something that women should enjoy, and while they see sexual suppression something that needs to be done to control men." Let me know what you think in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you liked the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MGTOW or death. And cheers.